Broker IPTV.
Today we're talking with Bruce Gardner, a real estate practitioner with Keller Williams and a member of the board at MetroList. Bruce, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks for being here. MetroList obviously has spent an enormous amount of time and effort in prime access and getting up to being very Web 2.0 these days for people in the real estate business and so forth. Talk a little bit about how that's gone.
Well, the way we see it is that prime access will be the central point of our vision for the future. Web 2.0 concepts are about interactivity between users of a system, and we see prime access as the heartbeat of that interactivity.
Now, we've got a lot of different tools that are very Web 2.0 for people, whether you're talking about documents online, or whether it's online management, or you can upload disclosures and so forth. Talk about some of those different features.
Well, we have a number of features that are coming online, but the key concept for us, Dan, is that we see the MLS of the future as the heartbeat of the real estate transaction. So what our company, MetroList, wants to do is be more involved with the transaction life cycle, be involved from more in the beginning to more at the end, and step beyond just a data entry or a database system.
And you're talking about incorporating what, the title company in there, the mortgage company? How would that all work?
Again, the vision for the future is to tie all of the players in the transaction together so that the realtor can do a single point of entry with the information on the property. The other components of the transaction can access that information through the MLS system and work on a single platform, which will allow each of these players to be more efficient and more effective.
What's the response been to a lot of these different features?
We have had overwhelmingly positive response. Everyone seems to really like the new tools and the new direction of our company.
Now, I know a lot of realtors are kind of resistant against change, you know. I actually have a couple of realtors in my office who are still using the really old system before the standard, My MLS. Are people starting to move over from My MLS to Prime Access?
Well, it's a good question, because I don't think it's just realtors that are hesitant to change. I think it's people in general. But what we're really seeing is an adoption of the new system, a transition through. But keep in mind, MetroList is one of the only companies in the country, MLS systems in the country, that offers this level of choice to their users. Our users have 3 different access methods to the MLS data: the old system, the current My MLS, and the new platform called Prime Access. In addition to that, we have created interconnectivity so that our users can choose to use a front-end software solution by a different vendor if they would rather do that too.
Now, the old access, is that going away?
Well, eventually it will, yes.
Yeah, and then eventually everyone will phase from My MLS into Prime Access.
Absolutely.
All right. Do you have a specific feature that you like the best?
Well, the new features, what I really enjoy is the mapping feature, which allows us to really not only do a search based on the location, but then transition over to a satellite view where you can actually see the property from a satellite view, look at it on a 45-degree angle, and learn much more about the property than you would through a static database system.
I like that as well, because when you pull up and you're searching for a home for a buyer and you've got all of your actives down there at the bottom, you're trying to see on the map how close in proximity they are to each other, so you don't have a drive all the way over here and a drive over here. If you see them all bunched, you're kind of happy and say, okay, we know where we're going. So that's a favorite feature of mine. There's a lot of stuff that's in testing still from MetroList and Prime Access to support the whole transaction lifestyle. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, on the front end of the transaction, we're looking at integrating customer relationship tools into the system. So a user can start to work with the data that's specific to a client and then connect it and marry it to a property that they end up wanting to buy. On the back end of the system, we're also looking at integrating, we already have integrated contract software, allows the user to do the contract online, manage that paperwork all the way through the transaction, and then store it after the transaction is closed indefinitely.
Wow. That sounds great, Bruce. Thanks. It's terrific information. Appreciate you being here.
All right, Dan. Thank you.
Find more real estate videos at brokeriptv.com.